TV.
Hey guys, this is Dominique Wilkins.
Hey, this is Sean Kemp.
This is Gary Payton.
Hey, this is Pau Gasol.
NBA fans, what's up? This is Vince Carter here.
Hey, what's up? This is Matt Barnes. If you're an old school NBA fan like I am, make sure you check out the Basketball Time Machine with my man Sean David.
Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back to the Basketball Time Machine. My name is Sean David. Thanks for tuning in. Let's talk some legendary old school NBA basketball. Back in the 90s, obviously the Chicago Bulls were the one and only team that nobody could beat, at least in 6 years. And in today's episode, I want to take a look at which of the 6 teams that played the Bulls in the NBA Finals actually had a legit chance. So I will be ranking those teams to see which team actually was the greatest that the Bulls played against in the NBA Finals back in the 90s. But before we start with that, let me ask you guys for a small favor. Please subscribe to the channel and like the video if you enjoy the content. All right, you guys, I would say let's get right into it. So the first team that I want to be talking about is the 1991 Los Angeles Lakers, so coming in at number 6. Now the first thing that we have to put into the right perspective is that we're not talking about the Showtime Lakers anymore. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar had retired, and some of the players that were sensational in the 80s were slowly but surely declining. If it was a James Worthy, who was kind of losing a little bit of his speed and his athleticism, and some of the other supporting casts, it was not the greatest Lakers time of that 80s, 90s era. And to me, I also felt that because the Bulls had just beaten the Detroit Bad Boy Pistons and they sweep them, the Bulls were so hungry that I really felt like there was no team at that time who could really be a challenge for them. They had figured it out. They were so hungry. They were, I want to say, unbeatable in that playoff series. So to me, the Lakers did not really have a chance, even though they were a good team, but not a great team. So not a chance at all. So coming in at number 6.
This is what you live for, to play Michael Jordan in the finals.
You better eat your Wheaties.
3-on-2 for the Bulls. Michael on the drive, in for the right, for the chance. Oh, a spectacular move by Michael Jordan. The Bulls blowing the Lakers out. And the Chicago Bulls have won their first ever NBA championship.
We're going to Disney.
Coming in at number 5 is the 1993 Phoenix Suns. Now, hear me out first. Now, obviously, we know that that team was loaded. We had great players like Charles Barkley, Kevin Johnson, Dan Marley, Danny Ainge. We had Tom Chambers, Mark West. So they had a sensational team. And, Richard Dumas, sensational player off the bench who had super high potential. But, and this is the one thing why I felt that they did not stand a chance against the Bulls, they were not a great defensive team, which was highlighted when you take a look at the stats. Michael Jordan was averaging 41 points on shooting above 50% from the field. And that was because, well, nobody could guard Michael Jordan, and especially on that Phoenix roster. And the other thing was that Michael Jordan had a personal vendetta with Dan Marley. Jordan wanted to prove that Dan Marley could not guard him. To, basically get on the nerves of Jerry Krause. We know that story. But I think that was the main reason why they did not stand a chance. And again, Charles Barkley was in his prime, and I think it was the best that we have seen Charles Barkley play in his entire career. But if you are not a great defensive team, there is no chance that you can beat Michael Jordan and the Bulls. So that's why they're coming in at number 5.
But Jordan would simply be too much.
MJ hops down the lane. The left-hand layup is a beauty. Oh, what a pretty...
And despite Barkley's valiant efforts, the Suns still trailed with time running out and faced the disastrous prospect of a second home loss. And now they found themselves scrambling to stay in the game.
Will throw in. Oh, Pippen threw it off the back of the net. What a play! He fooled the Suns.
Post pass, top of the key, right side now. To Oliver Miller, who has his pocket picked to the blind side by Michael. Here he comes. He flies and he jams it down.
Coming in at number 4 are the 1996 Seattle Supersonics. And this is a tough one because I actually feel that they could potentially have been even better if George Karl would have let Gary Payton guard Michael Jordan a little bit earlier. And even though Michael Jordan still denies that Gary Payton had no effect on him, I think it was obvious. You could see it you could see it. I mean, if you have healthy eyes, you could see it that Gary Payton was really giving Michael Jordan a tough time, even though obviously nobody could stop Michael Jordan, but still Jordan had to work a little bit harder. But the one thing why I still feel that the Bulls would have won that series is because we are talking about the greatest Bulls team of all time, and we're talking about the greatest team of all time. We're talking about Michael Jordan, Dennis Rodman, Scottie Pippen, Ron Harper, Toni Kukoc. We're talking about a team. I mean, you had the best player in the NBA. You probably had the best defender in Dennis Rodman or Scottie Pippen or Michael Jordan. Pick your poison. You had the greatest bench player in Toni Kukoc of that season. You had the greatest three-point shooter in Steve Kerr. You had the best coach. There was no team in NBA history who could have beaten that team in that series. And if, for example, you would have placed the Seattle Supersonics against the, I don't want to say, or let's say the 1993 Chicago Bulls or the 1998 Chicago Bulls, I think they had a legit chance of beating the Bulls, but not that 1996 team. And that's why I ranked that Seattle Supersonics team at number 4.
Perfect basketball. The far side. The Sonics with a 14-2 advantage in the second quarter. Jordan able to capitalize. The poise, the confidence, the determination evident for the Sonics today. Here's a three.
And the next team that I want to talk about, so coming in at number 3 are the 1997 Utah Jazz. Now with the Jazz, this is something which is beautiful to me as a basketball fan who loves the game for what it was supposed to be. If you go through the team individually and compare the Bulls with the Jazz would stand no chance. Why? The Jazz were not as deep skill-wise as the Bulls, but even though they didn't have that deep team, still they show what great team basketball can accomplish. They had John Stockton, obviously, they had Jeff Hornacek, they had Karl Malone, Antoine Carr, but great role players in terms of knowing how to work as a team, as a collective, and be productive. And even though the Jazz lost, and I still believe that there was no chance on earth that they could have beaten the 1997 Bulls, I still think that they performed on a sensational level. They played way above what they're supposed to perform when you look at the rosters on paper. And yeah, this is a shout out to you guys of the Utah Jazz of 1997. I think you were sensational, and we also owe you a lot for a great final series. Coming in at number 2, a team that I feel that potentially had a chance of beating the Chicago Bulls. It's the 1992 Portland Trail Blazers. Now this is the thing, the Portland Trail Blazers were a loaded team. Obviously they only had one true superstar in prime Clyde Drexler, but if you go through the roster, you had guys like Clifford Robinson, Terry Porter, you had a sensational deep team in terms of role players with Kevin Duckworth and you guys know the team. I don't have to name everybody, but I feel that if it wasn't for the prime 1992 Chicago Bulls, who just had won their first championship and grew not only skill-wise but also matured. If it was another Bulls team, I would say like the 1993 Bulls team, I think they had a legit chance of beating that team. And not because the Bulls were not that great, but the Portland Trail Blazers, to me in general, were one of the greatest to never win an NBA championship. So they had a chance. Still, I would like 8 of 10 times I would give the nod to the Bulls, but they at least had a chance. So they're coming in at number 2. And now, coming in at number 1, the only team that I felt like, ooh, that was a really, really close one, the 1998 Utah Jazz. And the reason why is because with that Bulls team, even though we're still talking about one of the greatest teams of all time, they had some issues. And it started throughout the regular season. The issues with Dennis Rodman, who was not locked in as much. Then you had the Scottie Pippen issues, also with his injuries. Then Michael Jordan, still in his prime, but he was weakened because he had to carry so much of the load during the regular season. And you had the feeling with the Utah Jazz, not only did they have the home court advantage, but you had the feeling that they had even more matured and they were so locked in and they really, really would do whatever it takes. And yeah, as we all know, the Bulls won 4 games, the Jazz won 2 games, but it felt like, oh, that was a really close one. I still believe like 6 or 7 out of 10 times the Bulls would have won, but that Utah Jazz team, they really had a chance. Still, I'm very happy how it turned out. I'm pretty sure most of you guys too. But anyway, you guys, that was my list. Now let me know in the comments below, how do you think about not only that list, but how would you rank each individual championship run every single season where the Bulls won the championship? Who had a legit chance? Let me know in the comments below, and hopefully I'll see you next time on the Basketball Time Machine.